Hello, everyone. Today I will be presenting my comparative case study on poverty and educational equity in the United States, China, and Kenya. Poverty continues to be one of the greatest barriers to educational success around the world because it affects students' access to educational opportunities, resources, quality instruction, healthcare, nutrition. Although these three countries differ greatly in their economies and educational systems, they all face challenges in ensuring that every student has equal opportunities to succeed. By comparing these countries, we can hopefully identify effective educational practices and policies that help reduce these inequities we see. So first, poverty extends far beyond a family's income. Students experiencing poverty often face food insecurity, unstable housing, limited health care, reduced access to technology, and overall just fewer educational opportunities outside of school. These challenges influence attendance, academic achievement, graduation rates, long-term career opportunities. Research also shows that poverty disproportionately affects historically marginalized groups, making educational equity both an educational and social justice issue. For this reason, poverty was selected as the problem of practice for this case study. I believe that this bar graph provides a great visualization of this. As you can see, poverty levels have a clear correlation to education level completed. With more education, the less of a chance you will suffer from poverty, says the statistics from the UC Davis Center for Poverty and Inequality Research. Each country approaches education differently. So I have broken it into three countries here, just with some core components that separate them from others. The United States operates on a decentralized system in which the states and local districts control many education decisions. While this encourages innovation, it also creates funding inequities because schools depend heavily on local property taxes. So a more affluent neighborhood would pay more in taxes, providing better funding for a school, and vice versa. China operates on a centralized education system that allows quick and national reform. This country has expanded compulsory education and significantly increased their literacy rates with this government intervention. But today we still see disparities between the quality of schools in the urban versus rural areas. The urban areas have the highest performing schools. This is where students and families are migrating to at their own expense because this is costing them money. This is the problem with a lot of the education in China today we're seeing. They have a conundrum they're facing. Would you like to move to the urban areas where you're going to face fees to enroll because you are not from there? Or do you avoid the debt of going to school but sacrifice education? This is something they call the poverty trap. Now, for Kenya, they have dramatically increased access to education, mainly through the Basic Education Act number 14 in 2003. Enrollment grew substantially, yet many schools continue to struggle with limited resources. They feel this in their technology, in their infrastructure. They're facing a teacher shortage. They are really feeling the effects of a huge influx of students entering the school system. Culturally responsive teaching is essential for promoting educational equity because it values students' cultural identities while maintaining high academic expectations. In the United States, culturally responsive teaching has become increasingly important because classrooms are highly diverse. Teachers are encouraged to incorporate students' backgrounds into instruction and create inclusive learning environments. China places greater emphasis on national curriculum and academic achievement, although bilingual education programs support some ethnic minority communities. Kenya's classrooms reflect tremendous cultural and linguistic diversity, and many teachers integrate local knowledge and community experiences into instruction despite these limited resources. really doing the best with what they have. Across all three countries, culturally responsive teaching helps students feel respected, engaged, and supported. And it really gives them a sense of relatedness, which helps them connect to the teacher. Each country offers valuable lessons. The United States demonstrates innovation, and diverse educational opportunities, but still continues to struggle with unequal and inequitable school funding. China's centralized planning has successfully expanded educational access and improved academic performance over the last 2 decades. Yet we are still seeing those disparities between urban schools and rural schools. While here we have Kenya, they've been having what you could say is a good problem in some ways. They have nearly doubled their enrollment in secondary school over the last 20 years. But with such an influx, their resources are dangerously low. They do not have enough teachers. Some classroom sizes in urban areas go up to as high as 100 students for one teacher. So based on these findings, I recommend adopting a just more equitable funding models, strengthening teacher professional development, especially in culturally responsive teaching and other inclusive teaching strategies. We need to expand early childhood education. As all the research shows, they are much likely to graduate high school and pursue education with a preschool education. Also, we need to be providing services outside of these academics, such as school meals, counseling, healthcare. These strategies help address both academic and non-academic effects of poverty. In conclusion, poverty continues to shape the educational opportunities in the United States, China, and Kenya, despite the vast differences in these three countries. While each country has made meaningful progress toward expanding access to education, reducing educational inequities requires sustained investments in equitable funding, teacher preparation, culturally responsive instruction, and comprehensive student services. This takes time and it takes consistency. As future educators, we have an important responsibility to create inclusive classrooms, advocate for equitable policies, and ensure that every student has the opportunity to succeed, regardless of a socioeconomic background. So I provided a link here. It's a 3-minute video that I won't bother showing in this presentation for time's sake, but it does an excellent job at depicting how poverty can have an effect on all aspects of life around us. I added this because this was a major point in my paper. Life outside of school affects your performance in school. Stuff like healthcare, nutrition, sanitation, transportation. See, these are all prerequisites for success in school, and they must be taken care of before a student can truly thrive. They need the basics first. So thank you for listening. That was my comparative case study on United States, Kenya, and China. Thank you very much.